Good morning. We're back in Bellevue, but I still have this amazing footage of a Seattle sunrise that it would be a shame not to use.
I don't think there's gonna be enough for a full
We have a little confession to make. I actually bought this coffee for a friend of ours that used to live in Portland, and then we kind of ran out and we kind of used it. But I think there's enough in there for one whole French press. So now we're gonna save it. Jody, I'm sorry. We have heard from a few folks that you guys like the whole thing when we respond to comments. And there's this comment that was made on a vlog post 5 days ago that really had us thinking, so I wanted to share it here. Emanuela says, "Hi Ben and Cammie. First off, one of the worst things that ever happens on our vlog is when someone spells Cammie's name with a C. She hates it. She might never talk to you again if you do this. So it's spelled with a K. Let's keep on going. Just found your channel a few weeks ago and I truly enjoy it. I was hoping you could answer some questions that I have. We're glad you found our channel. We're glad you enjoy it. Do you belong to any Christian church or group? It seems that you are very much in line with the quiverful philosophy of not using birth control, homeschooling the children, and socializing with like-minded people. I hope I am wrong, as I think you are too bright to fall into this category." I think that's a compliment. I wanted to answer that question because I think it's probably a question that multiple people are wondering. Do we belong to a Christian church or group? Are we some of those wacko no birth control people? What I sense that Emanuela is doing is she's kind of trying to put us in a category to help make sense of us. You know, it's easy to get an idea of what a certain group of people is like and then to kind of generalize them all.
A lot of times our generalizations are wrong.
And sometimes they're right.
And sometimes they're right.
I don't know if we belong to a group. We don't feel like we do. We've attended churches a lot of our life, but that's not the primary way we identify, is by attending a service or a show or an experience.
Or even being a member at a church.
And I've heard of this like quiverful thing, people that don't use birth control and whatever. We don't use birth control, and we do homeschool our kids, kind of. We don't do it the way we've seen other people do it, really. Some people call us unschoolers. They want to know if we're unschoolers. Some people call us homeschoolers.
And we do socialize with like-minded people, but I also think we're not afraid to socialize with people that believe different things. And I think we do that too.
And then there's this statement, I think you are too bright to fall into this category. I would like to think of us as trying to make intelligent decisions and stuff, but also I don't think everyone in those categories are just not bright. We're all closed-minded in our own little ways. I don't know, it kind of makes me a little bit sad to read that because I do have a soft spot in my heart for people. We have all sorts of different categories that we identify with, and sometimes we borrow some beliefs from certain categories, but we see weaknesses in all of these categories and strengths. The bigger deal from being a quiverful or a Christian or homeschooler or whatever, the biggest litmus test to be able to test, I think, if you are truly sympathetic or gracious, is how well you accept people in categories that are not your own. True tolerance, it actually extends to the people that believe the things on the opposite end of the spectrum from us. So for us, that would be the people who are in public school, or who, I don't know.
Who use birth control, or who think they should only have 2 kids.
This whole idea for this vlog, in a way, started by us going to a conference that was extremely anti-traditional family. We went to this place and we actually felt bad for these people. I don't think they were not intelligent. I think they had been really hurt by traditional families. And one of our objectives in making this vlog was to share what we think was actually a good thing.
I also just want to say that whatever Emanuela is saying here, I think a lot of people think and believe these things, not necessarily just about us, but just, I think naturally we put people in categories. I have thought less of people who don't fit into my categories too. And I have thought that they're not bright, or that they're misled, or whatever. I just want Emanuela to know that they're not alone in thinking this way.
But we hope people from the Quiverful movement feel comfortable watching our vlogs. We hope you, Emanuela, feel comfortable watching our vlogs and you can find encouragement and hope. We hope homeschoolers, public schoolers. That's one of the nice things about not having to be in a category. Lisa, who has been a longtime watcher and commenter, wrote a response to this comment, specifically to this part of it. And she wrote, "Hi, I've been watching this awesome family for a long time. This is the part I want to read. They live their lives, from what I've seen, as they believe God leads them to. They are friends with every type of person, not only people that think like they do. They reach out and help people that others would probably just ignore." Lisa, I just wanted to say thank you. Cammie and I both read this, and I've been thinking about it for the last 3 or 4 days now, and I was just like, is that us?
Yeah.
Cammie was like, I'd want to get to know those types of
That's a
people.
nice person.
Hang on, we gotta change locations because this is too.
Okay.
Lighting location change.
This is such a challenging thing for me to hear. I don't want to have false modesty when I respond to this. I feel very mixed emotions. I actually think that what Lisa's saying is true of us to a degree. I mean, I think God has changed us to be able to actually be this type of person that can, I mean, the line that really gets me is they are friends with every type of person, not only people that think like they do. I think, Lisa, you're right, but then I also know my limitations too, and I know that there are some people that it's really hard for me to be friends with. But actually, that line, I mean, I know you only know us so much because you're seeing us just on YouTube, but that line is really encouraging to me because I feel like whatever you're seeing there, that is only because we're receiving God's love for ourselves, and that we see ourselves as every type of person, and we're not like the worst person you can think of. God has helped us identify us as that person. Like, we are no better or no worse than the next person.
It's just like, if you're a homeschooler and you hate public schoolers, you can look at their lives and you can say, hey, find the areas that I can identify with. I'm just like them. Or if you're a public schooler and you hate homeschoolers, there's a way that we're all the same. And that's what I like about Lisa's response, is at least what she's describing. I want to be that type of person or family. And the question that Emanuela is asking, I don't want to be in a group that just looks down on other groups, whatever the group is. To me, that's not a win. Even if it's the best group, it's still bondage to have to look down and judge others.
So Lisa's description of us is really challenging for me to say, yes, I want more of that. I want to be more of that, whatever person she's describing.
Lisa, if what you're saying is true, and I'm going to assume it is, and it was really cool to hear this because I wouldn't have described us this way. But when I look at child molesters, it's easy for me to say, oh, those monsters, I'm nothing like them. But actually, I've learned from hanging out with a lot of child molesters over the last 10 years that if I'm looking deep enough and if I'm honest with myself, that there's a part of me that is exactly like them. And I'm using that in an extreme way because it's the most extreme, right? So let's take lesser things, Democrats, Republicans, whatever the categories are. We're more similar than I feel a lot of times.
One of the things that's helped me identify with a person that looks so different from me on the outside is if I were to have grown up in their home and was raised the way they were raised, that I believe I would be no different from them. And we don't have control over those things, whether or not we're raised, what kind of home we're raised in.
Emanuela, thank you for the question. We're glad you found the vlog. We hope you keep on watching. Lisa, thank you for your response. It's very encouraging. Just so you guys know, we read all the comments you guys post. We don't always respond to them. And some of us especially don't respond to them.
Ben's way better at responding to them than I am, I'll be honest. He's on it. I am not. I read them.
Thank you for your honesty.
But I don't respond very much. I told Ben, maybe if he got me a new computer, I would respond more.
Anyways, I don't know if we have more time for anything else in this vlog. My parents have actually been gone for a month too, and they're just pulling up right now.
Welcome.
Alright. Welcome home.
Thank you, thank you.
Man, I want to pop that zit right there. Ooh.
You already did.
No, it's a different one.